emails that we were sending prior to the event. So awesome. Sarah, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. So as Marie spoke to a little bit, the role of the Ministry of Agriculture in connection with 4-HBC is to present educational resources and materials. So part of the way that we do that is by coordinating some of the opportunities beyond the club level. So we've heard some really great stuff about what happens at the community level and how to get a new group started, but I wanted to just give a real quick taste today of some of the things that are possible for 4-H members once you get a 4-H club established. So the first thing I wanted to speak to was external high school credits. So 4-H British Columbia is actually an accredited provider of external high school credits for grade 11 and 12 through the Ministry of Education. So these 4-H course credits can only be earned through the membership in a 4-H club and the completion of the requirements of the 4-H program. So the total options and credit options would be 4 credits at the grade 11 level and 4 credits at the grade 12 level. And those credits are applied skills credits. So that's how they would appear on a member's transcript. That would be equivalent to something like an elective that they would take at school. So earning the high school credits is a process that the 4-H members work through over time. So the minimum, and there's a number of ways, there's a number of different approaches that they can take to earning the credits, but the sort of minimum requirement is that they would complete a first introductory year, an introductory project. And if they were old enough, at minimum age 13, at the end of that first year, they would complete a test. We call it a junior proficiency test. We provide the tests, but the leaders administer those at the community level. And so if they kind of complete that first year and do the test and they're age 13 and older, then they can move on to in their second, third, and any amount of years beyond in working towards their credits for grade 11 and 12. So if they pass that test in year 2, they could complete 4 practical skills and or open book tests. There's a combination of things that the youth can choose from depending on the project that they're doing. Some of those things are overseen by the volunteers at the community level, and some of them will be written, but open book sort of research projects or written tests, research tests that are marked at the staff level. And then if they complete their grade 11 credits, they can build on that to get their grade 12 credits. Again, through a number of different options that could be 4 more skills or open book tests, or there's some opportunities to do a large project as well, like a self-determined project that Marie had talked about that would help you get to your grade 12 credit level as well. So I know that sounds complicated, and the reason for that is that there's just a lot of different ways that you can do it because we try to make it possible to fit a variety of situations. So I'm just going to give you an example of what this could look like. So let's say we have a 4-H member named Cassie. Cassie, who's in grade 9, she joins a brand new 4-H club. It's a gardening club in her community this year in 2021. So as a student in grade 9, Cassie would be about age 14. So she's going to complete her first year project. She's going to do a vegetable garden. And at the end of the year, she's going to write that test that I spoke about, that junior proficiency test. So that's what she'll do in 2021. So then next year, 2022, Cassie's going to be eligible to start working on earning her credits. So she could complete both her grade 11 and 12 credits in 2022 if she worked really quickly. But typically the members complete that over a number of years. The only time when we might see them actually push forward and actually complete it in a single year is if we had a school-based club that had a really focused program where they were doing the 4-H credits as a part of a school program. So there's no real time requirement to complete the different elements to earn the credits, but she would need to continue to maintain her membership in 4-H to continue to pull together the different pieces that would ultimately lead to her getting those credits. So that's just a real quick example, but basically within 2 years of 4-H membership, a youth over the age of 13 could earn grade 11 credits for applied skills credits. And that would be regardless of how old they are. So they could earn 4 grade 11 applied skills credits in grade 9 or 10, depending on when they start working on it. So in addition to the credits program, we do have some district and regional programming as well that clubs can participate in, or that members can participate in independently, just going with their families. So as both Marie and Michelle had spoken a little bit to the structure of the organization. So basically every 4-H club in BC is a part of a district. And so there's 31 total districts for the province. And then all of the districts are part of a region, and there's 7 regions that make up 4-H in British Columbia, the province. And then as Marie had also alluded to, the Yukon is also affiliated with 4-H in British Columbia. So any clubs in the Yukon are a separate territory of 4-H British Columbia. So 4-H districts and regions offer different opportunities for 4-H members to participate in beyond the club. So that could include like workshops, like you can see in the picture there. That's a picture from a regional 4-H workshop day. We would offer those regionally every 2 years. We offer them in the more populated areas of the province, Vancouver Island, the Fraser Valley, the Caribou, and the Kamloops-Okanagan area. And then we sometimes have mini versions in the smaller areas, such as the Peace or the Coonies. And on a day like that, they would sign up and they could go with their family. They could have brothers and sisters come, and moms and dads, and maybe even a friend from school. And they get to sign up for 4 one-hour workshops where they get to do something fun with 4-H. So this little member here, she participated in a wool felting workshop, and she got to learn how to do felting with needles to make that adorable chick craft. There would be workshops there as well on things like public speaking and some of the different project elements. So that's something that happens not every year, but certainly periodically that the members can attend. Additionally, there is competitions that would happen at the district or regional level. And that's for all ages except for Clover Buds. So like we spoke about, our Clover Bud program is focused on hands-on experiential learning and team building, and it is non-competitive. But competition opportunities open up at age 9 for regular members. And so if they won at their club level, they did the best speech for their club, the winner could go on to the district public speaking. And then the winner from the district can go on to the regional public speaking. And for the older kids, they can even go on to a provincial level of public speaking. So there's those type of opportunities if the members are interested in moving on, and it's really good personal development opportunity. Of course, with the competitions, we also spoke about the judging, which is our critical thinking program that a couple of the different folks from CANM had alluded to. Also, beyond the club level, there would be exhibitions. So sometimes those are district or regional hosted private 4-H shows where you sign up and you go and you can exhibit your project, and it's just 4-H people there. But a lot of the time, those exhibitions are a part of fairs. So in partnership with different fairs that happen around the province. So hopefully we can get back to that someday, because that's something that a lot of the 4-H members really enjoy. So participation in those exhibitions, fairs, or even district competitions, like the Williams Lake Show and Sale, isn't mandatory. It's optional, but it is certainly something that the youth enjoy doing if there's an opportunity to do that, and if the families of the club are interested. And some of the districts or regions also offer camps, and that could be day camps or overnight camps that could happen at spring break or maybe over the summer holidays and things like that. And those camps are typically offered for youth that are kind of under the age of 13 or 14. And the reason for that is that we offer a lot of provincial opportunities for the older youth. So a lot of the districts or regions will take on some fun camp programming for the younger youth. Which leads me to speaking about some of our provincial programs. So our provincial programs are available for youth ages 14 and up. And we have quite a number of them. Some of them are offered every year. Some of them are offered every other year. And the programs can be kind of divided into 2 sort of different themes. We have skills development programs, and then we have agriculture programs. So the first program that I wanted to highlight is our Provincial Communications Weekend. So that is where the youth who have won at the older youth, the senior level, so that's age 13 and up, if they've won their club public speaking and then they've gone on to their district, and then they're regional and they've won at all of those levels, they can earn the opportunity to attend the Provincial Communications Weekend, which is both a public speaking competition, but also a conference. So they're gonna get guest speakers and workshops and all kinds of cool stuff to help develop those communication skills and really take them to the next level. They might have a guest speaker, for example, that's a communications professional, such as somebody that works in radio or marketing or something like that, just to really think about where those opportunities could take them. Another skills development program we have is our Youth Action Program. It's a summer conference. It's a five-day conference. It's hosted overnight. It's usually hosted in the Kamloops area, and it's a youth leadership conference. So we bring together a group of about 60 14 and 15-year-olds, and we spend the week thinking about how can you be a leader? How can young people make a difference in their communities, and just really think about what they're passionate about and what skills they have, and they make a back home plan as to how they can do something positive for their communities when they return. So it's a really, really fun program. The picture in the bottom right-hand corner with the kind of colorful squares from Youth Action, because how we get them to hone in on those leadership skills is by giving them a bunch of really fun problems to solve. And then they get to work with a group to see how effectively they can solve those problems. The next program that we have in the skills development area is our Provincial Club Week program. That program is for youth ages 16 to 19, and it is really focused on personal development. So youth in that age group are typically thinking about careers and what they want to do with their life. So we spend that week really focusing on what type of first impression they make, what are their personal values, what are their goals for the future. And it's a really impactful program. So we typically host that over spring break every other year. And then the final skills development program I wanted to highlight is our ambassador program. And we have an ambassador holding the rabbit up in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. The ambassador program is a 2-year volunteer program. The ambassadors are selected regionally to be part of a provincial team, and they receive training ongoing throughout the 2 years. And then they have a commitment, they have a checklist of things they need to complete in terms of volunteer community service. So that could be teaching other youth that are part of other 4-H clubs from their area, or it could be, if somebody asked us provincially, like, we would like to interview somebody for a newspaper article about 4-H, we would probably have them interview one of the ambassadors. So these youth play a really important role, kind of being the face of 4-H, and it's a great way to get some volunteer experience. Really good opportunity to build some skills to put on their resume. That program is 16 to 21-year-olds. The majority of the youth in that program are probably around age 18. So it does actually work really well for youth who are starting college or university, because it gives them a way to continue their participation while maybe not being able to participate in regular club level events. Under agriculture programs, we have 2 great provincial programs focused on agriculture. Our Food for Thought program is for 14 and 15-year-olds, and it is focused on teaching youth about the agriculture industry in BC. So we learn about BC's top 10 agriculture products, and it's again an overnight program that we host at university, and we take them on farm tours. So they'll learn what BC's top 10 agriculture products are, and then we take them to the farm. They get to see how the product is grown, and they get to interview the farmer and say, so why do you grow tomatoes this way? What's the coolest thing about being a tomato farmer? And then hopefully we get to taste some of the tomatoes at the end. They like doing that at the tomato farm. You might be interested to know that mushrooms is one of BC's top 10 agriculture products, and the kids are usually not so excited about the mushroom eating, but it is really cool to see how the mushrooms grow, because not a lot of people have seen commercially how mushrooms are grown. So that's a pretty fun program where the students get to learn where their food comes from. And then the last program under agriculture is our Agri Career Quest program. That's a program for youth ages 16 to 21, and it is focused on careers in agriculture. So we take them on a bus tour around the southern half of BC, where they get to visit a variety of people who have agriculture careers, some of them in farming, but a lot of them in maybe food processing. Like we would go to a winery, for example, and they would get to learn about how they grow the grapes, how they make the wine, how they do the marketing, the hospitality element of the wine business, and all kinds of things like that, just thinking about the opportunities that exist for them. in a career in agriculture, because a lot of people just go straight to like, I don't know if I want to be a farmer, but there's a lot of other opportunities and needs. I mean, a lot of the 4-H members do want to be a farmer, which is fantastic because we need all the farmers you can get, but just helping them be aware of all the opportunities. So that's our regular suite of provincial programs. We do occasionally have special ones that we're able to offer as well. For example, this year, and it was very, very well timed with the difficult circumstances of 2020, but we were able to offer a new online program called the Field to Fork Challenge, where the kids could enter, any age of 4-H youth from across the province could enter a video of themselves cooking a recipe with BC foods and highlighting the BC products. And then the winners, they got to attend a Field to Fork Challenge weekend where we did virtual farm tours. So they got to do a virtual tour of an apple farm, a pig farm, and a cranberry farm. And then we got to interview the farmers. And then we had a professional chef teach a cooking lesson, and the top 20 finalists got to cook along with the chef, and we made recipes all together that included apple, pork, and cranberries. So we're hoping to do that again next year, so stay tuned for that, or I guess this year now that it's 2020. But that's the type of stuff we do at a provincial level, and those opportunities are open to all youth regardless of which club and which community they're from. Additionally, as Marie had mentioned, 4-H is truly an international organization. 4-H exists in over 70 countries around the world, and 4-H BC is a part of 4-H Canada. So along with all the other provinces, we're part of the national organization. So our youth from BC also have an opportunity to participate in national or even international 4-H programs. So the first that I'll highlight is what's shown in the upper picture there on the top left-hand corner, and that's the 4-H Canada Science Fair. The youth are able to enter a science project just like they would do for their school science fair, which seems a bit strange to us in BC because most schools do have science fairs, but I guess across Canada that's not totally the case. So in BC, the youth can enter through their school still or through 4-H as they like. They can take either avenue, but once they enter the 4-H Canada Science Fair, the finalists typically get to attend, the projects are judged virtually in the first round online, and the finalists usually get to attend a conference where they get to do some hands-on science, and is usually hosted at one of Canada's top agriculture universities. In recent years, it's been at Dalhousie University in Nova Scotia. And then the finalists from that event get to go on to the 4-H, not 4-H, rather, the Canada-wide Science Fair. So the same science fair that all of the youth qualify for through their school program. So if they were winners at their regional science fair, they could go to the national science fair. And likewise, winners from the 4-H science fair can go on to the national science fair. And we've actually had a really big success story here in BC. We had a 12-year-old girl from Langley. She entered her invention into the 4-H Canada Science Fair, and she won nationally for 4-H. And then she also won the National Science Fair against all of the other students. And she's gone on to attend science fairs in the States. She's been to Dubai with her science project, and she was hosted on the BC Tech Summit. So she actually invented a box for shipping chicks. You know, when you purchase chicks for your farm, sometimes they come in the mail, which sounds crazy. I guess sometimes some of them get crushed in there though. So she designed a new box that was round on the inside and had room for a heating pad that increased the chick's life expectancy. So that was a really cool 4-H project, and maybe it's gonna even turn into a career for her one day. Which leads to our next program nationally. There's the Careers on the Grow internships. This program is fairly new and still developing, but there is a couple of career internships that members can apply for a summer job to go work in another part of Canada and have an interesting career internship opportunity as a summer job. There's also the National 4-H Members Forum. We get to send a delegation of youth to that. Anywhere between 6 and 10 youth each year from BC get to attend that program. Which is typically hosted in Toronto, and the members get to attend the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair as a part of their conference experience with other youth from all the other provinces. There's also the 4-H Canada Citizenship Congress. Again, we'll send 6 to 10 youth to that annually. It's hosted in Ottawa, and they get to learn what it means to be a Canadian citizen. Typically, they'll meet their member of parliament and attend a citizenship swearing-in ceremony with new Canadians. So that's a really interesting program and really ties in nicely to our citizenship pillar. There's also the club to club exchanges, which we got to hear quite a bit about from Michelle and some of the alumni. Those are fantastic opportunities to go with a group of youth, your club, or a group from your district to exchange with another club in another part of Canada. And then we also have the Going Global Exchange program. That's for our older youth ages 18 plus, but they have an opportunity to go on a month-long exchange to another country. So and then they would receive a delegate at their home as well. So we've had delegates from British Columbia attend that exchange in the UK, in Finland, in Costa Rica, in Taiwan. Unfortunately, and for obvious reasons, on hold at the moment, but very much looking forward to a time when we'll be able to get members going back on those. And I feel really sad that they did not have that program when I was in 4-H, because I would have loved to have done that. But that's a fairly new one that's been really well received. And then the final opportunity that I wanted to highlight for you is scholarships. So provincially, we have over $40,000 a year annually available for 4-H members. And the awards vary in value between $500 and $5,000. And those awards could be for academic studies, but we also do have some scholarships that are targeted for trades studies as well. So there's a lot of opportunity. And then nationally, there's over $180,000 a year available annually. And the awards vary in value between $1,000 and $20,000. So that's a huge opportunity, and those scholarships are available only to 4-H members.